Big Boss Jock radio show. The listeners are encouraged to rise up, revolt, confront the U.S. government, not allow the takeover, the formation of the autonomous region of California, first declared a sanctuary place due to the sanctuary cities, and then everywhere in between, and then not there far off, and well, then all of a sudden the solution, and U.S. Congress cedes part of the U.S. territory line at the Colorado River up through the Great Salt Lake between Idaho and Montana, and the former United States of America becomes two entities. The eastern part known as America, and the west that's divided off known as the autonomous region of California. That will be determined between two groups, Africa, America, and Aztlan, considered Greater Mexico. Analyst assessment. Be part of the solution. Rise up, revolt, confront the U.S. government, liberate the Confederate States of America, the Alamo, placed as the capital. The Analyst Assessment, episode 30. Clip being assessed was posted by NBC News, April 5, 2019. Airtime, 52 minutes, 2 seconds. The title, Watch Live. Trump participates in Immigration and Border Security Roundtable. Enter into the clip. 9 minutes and 12 seconds, where begins the general to speak. The general of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, being termed a Chief General. I'm not familiar with that position in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Maybe that position does exist. Or is he part of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and now it's the Chief Generals on the staff? I don't know. Seems that there's a new way of saying things these days. As about to be gone is the USA. Taken away, the nation. It's been described over and over in these first 9 minutes. Computer generation plays to the performance of the U.S. president. He should be seen as nothing more than an image. What's going on in the clip is computer generated, not only the actions of the president, but the entire event. The people are believing in the deception, not realizing the technological advances in the last 50 years. Yes, it is possible to take an image and make a production, call it an event, and, well, furthermore, say it happened, as long as no one's there to document. What's the difference? Well, the public didn't seem to find one. 9 minutes, 18 seconds. Before that, there's the mention of Secretary Nelson. No U.S. the Secretary Nelson. How many secretaries are there, though? Various. And the department should be named along with the nation, U.S., which represents the U.S. citizen who has been stripped of their identity. And they're about to lose the position of presidency, which represents them. First, the position of president, the leader, then one moment to the next, the government. About soon to be declared bankrupt. After years of mismanagement, the ones who should be held responsible are going to skip out. Allowed to do so through this computer generation that's being assessed was placed to the programs. A computer-generated dialogue which brainwashes any who listen. The misuse of the words we, you, them, they. The U.S. citizen is a person, part of the group of people described as them. Same while described our illegal migrants with the same names, them, they, person, part of the group of people. What differentiates the two? The U.S. citizen, in their abstract mind, thinking abstractly, which is actually a subconscious mind, that's what they're forced to use when the misappropriation of you, we, such words are placed, requiring the listener to associate in the abstract in order to understand the dialogue. When doing so, they're being programmed, brainwashed. Instruction in the form of you, they lock on, think I am what they need to do. It's a high level of programming, brainwashing. 9 minutes, 46 seconds. 47 seconds. And what that will end up with is around December 2020, the total amount of money that we will have put in the ground in the last couple years will be about 450 miles. Statement is ignorant. Analyst assessment. You people are receiving the information at a elementary level that's improperly structured as far as the form of English that's being used. It's third grade, fourth grade. It's not elementary school. The child needs a higher skill level in order to continue on. Not able to write essays. And what that will end up with is around December 2020, the total amount of money that we will have put in the ground. No, that will have been put in the ground, and that would be the total funds that was funded by the U.S. citizen. And it should have a sum, such as the $30 billion that have been allocated. Those funds will have been used in the construction of the barrier wall. 3 lengths should have been completed with the $30 billion. Or is it the whole wall? However that be. It's not being described properly. The intention is never to finish. It'll be the so-called Achilles heel of the Yankee USA. Achilles heel, well, I don't know about that. It'll be what defeated Yankee. At times, 30-foot high wall. Well, how did they build dams that were 100 times that tall? Well, let's see, that would be 3,000 feet. Say 50 times that tall. And hold back water. Huge amount of water. Great deal? Great deal. Is what they're hearing again and again. Being chomped. Speaking right to the public. They're about to lose their nation. The one they term number one is about to take a dive. That card that beats all the other cards in the game. Yeah, they came up with that name special for Alan Hawkins. His face peels off. It's known as Don. Most usually, he, his, him. The president, maybe at times, not the U.S. president, seldom. Very ignorant is the level of speech from the general there. It should be what was mentioned. A fixed amount of money, the sum of the funds, that those will have been allocated, spent properly in the accomplishment of 3 or 4 of the overall 19 lengths that need to be achieved in order to accomplish the objective, which is to finish the project, the barrier wall, a continuous wall from the Gulf Coast to the Pacific Coast at California, all the way beginning there in the statement, Texas at the Gulf Coast. A continuous wall made up of 19 lengths. Total amount needed in order to fund the wall, allocated before the project ever began. The sum placed before the public, allowed to decide. whether or not to fund such a project. Allowed to understand the information, the details, instead of brainwashed to squabble, place their attention where it shouldn't be, on a wall that could easily be accomplished, is to down their nation, speaking right to the public. The United States of America is about to be yesteryear. Again and again they make clear in the 52 minutes at the Calexico, what they term a round table, what's going to arrive shortly. And that's the people who are going to wake up and they're going to hear, they're being conditioned to accept. The United States termed as we. We just can't do it. We just couldn't do it. There's no more money. Bankrupt is bankrupt. Business is over. Just couldn't do it. I mean, since when is the U.S. immigration system full and business is closed? The government. Immigration's vast. There's law enforcement to the judiciary, immigration law, judges, courtrooms, to detention facilities, to the agent on the beat. Described it so simply as we are full. We are full means the U.S. immigration system is declared defunct, went out of business by the leader, the U.S. president named Don. Well, rolling along, continuing to make the assessment. 10 minutes, 14 seconds, statement made. But when it comes to both the capacity of the contract community, statement made the general. But when it comes to both the capacity of the contract community to be able to execute this, the dedication of the CDBP and DHS to be able to set the conditions for us to be able to build, and then for our team, we are committed to be able to make this happen. Laboring to try to stay up with the hours and the we's. Us. That should be the United States of America. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. What is term CDBP? I'm not sure. What's that? The California Division of Border Patrol? Used to be known as the United States Border Patrol. DHS needs to be USDHS. There is no more use of the U.S. It's just ambiguous. Department of Homeland Security. How many countries could have a Department of Homeland Security? Anywhere. Spring up at any time in any country. They all have a Department of Homeland Security. Us, the people, and the group of we. Part of our country. 1027. And furthermore, initials shouldn't be used. DEA, Drug Enforcement Agency. Yeah, it's cumbersome in the conversation. Drug Enforcement Agency. Such as Defense Intelligence Agency. The names placed. Name association. Yeah. That way they take responsibility. Known as the name. Statement made. The dedication of CDBP and DHS. Well, I already explained. Nothing but hogwash. Rubbish. And we are committed to be able to make this happen. Volume turned down. Computer generated. At the end of the statement, trailed off. So what does that tell the subconscious of viewer? Well, wasn't sincere, the comment. Trailed off, not serious about coming through with the accomplishment being finished on date, hours, how it should be. I'm not rhyming. Oh, this is cumbersome. I don't know, I might be back in a moment. Need to gain altitude. Flying a bit low. Hard to do a show. Though I'll stay here right in line. Gonna do another line. 10 minutes and 14 seconds. Not that type, just more time. Flying low altitude. Trying not to scrape on the trees. Maybe crash into the street. No, I just keep a strolling, going down the sidewalk. Minding my own. 10 minutes, 46 seconds. Statement made dawn. Ports of entry. Again, omitted name association. U.S. ports of entry. There's 2 countries being mentioned. Mexico gets much name association. The United States of America, next to never. The U.S., seldom. When is it added to Border Patrol in the conversation? It's Border Patrol. Immigration Customs Enforcement. No U.S. The southern border is termed ours. Our southern border. It's the U.S. southern border. International border with the country of Mexico. Understood. The U.S. southern border. If it was stated and then backed up with our border, and then again stated, the U.S. southern border, appropriate. To never, next to never, state U.S. southern border, and continually to repeat our southern border, U.S. citizen, you're about to no longer be a citizen term from the U.S. You're about to be from America. Or will that be Africa America? Many ushered underground are going to take on the new regulations due to the crisis situation, the mayhem that'll take place above ground, allowed by Yankee Sam, the people confronted by gun confiscation enforced by the police state, given an option, go underground, or remain in place without their guns. No, I think they'll be in violation. They need to secure the area, subject to being shot. On site. Evacuated, mandatory. Plague passed through. Contaminated. Furthermore, suspected is that enemy combatants will be in the area soon. The neighboring sector overran. 11 minutes. Statement made dawn. Where are you, Dave? And he says it in a computer-generated, sipping on wine at the dining room table. And yeah, casual as can be. First person in front of the entire world. It's a U.S. presidential address. Public address. Disgraceful as a performance. Computer generated. To take away the position of the presidency. They're going to have a commissioner. Maybe who is it? The commissioner? Who's sitting over there next to Gloria? The president. Another president? Or is it going to be the one simply named the secretary? Should be named U.S. Homeland Security Secretary. Or will it be the general? Statement made dawn. Thank you, Duncan. Sounds ridiculous. It's not an award ceremony. Those have significance, and they also have a time and a place. A public address made by the U.S. President. The U.S. President should be thanked for visiting the area, taking time out of a busy schedule. Has been reduced down to chomp with a bunch, doesn't mean much. 11:27, Stephen May Dawn uses first names, seldom states a title. Kevin on to Gloria, over to Brandon, continues to Oscar. Dog with Duncan. It's too much. Lost is the presidency, painful is to watch. Understood, due soon to arrive. The revolution brought about will be a solution. Rise up, confront the U.S. government. Liberate the Confederate States of America. Alamo, placed as the capital. Reminder, May 23rd, Shasta County Superior Court, Northern California, the town of Redding, California. Redding, R-E-D-D-I-N-G. Northern California, Division 2, Shasta County Superior Court, 8:30 in the morning, May 23rd. Anyone out there notice a knife on the hip of the big boss jock? Each afternoon, Monday through Friday, for 5 months of the ongoing over 2-year protest. Over a year of it on the doorstep of the Redding Police Department, who's continuing with the case of that, they didn't notice that knife, and one day they did after 5 months on a bicycle ride at 4:45 in the morning, and are ignoring birth name U.S. Federal Agent Earl Hawkins, born in 1970 in Provo, Utah, and the prosecuting auxiliary name Jean Paul Martineau, born in 1970 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Earl Hawkins has a social security number from 1970. Auxiliary name Jean Paul Martineau has one that began in 1975. None of this is being investigated. Persecution persists. This is how the Redding Police Department handled an issue they couldn't deal with, an ongoing protest. First they took away the sign, handheld billboard, stated sexually assaulted by multitude of officials at the Redding Police Department. They go uninvestigated, unhindered in their activities, and I'm facing prosecution. I'd sure appreciate some assistance. May 23rd, Redding, California, Shasta County Superior Court, Division 2, 8:30 in the morning. Our one only God, He helps me with this rhyme, line by line. I do give my thanks, along with gratitude, for our Father in heaven, our one only God. It's right there inside of each and every one of us. It's depending of us to open the connection, near more close to our Father in heaven, and watch how our talents flourish. That's achieved by living a high moral way of life. This is the Big Boss Jock, signing off.